evolution, and it's a monologue, and you have to imagine I'm about 16. Apologies for the generic voice. Mrs. Monkey Boys is a devil in breeches. That's what Edith says, and her knows. Her's worked for Major and Mrs. Monkey Boys going on 20 years. Edith would never have stayed except for Major being a sad old stick and servant's kitchen getting jolly of an evening. Mrs. Monkey Boys is painted vivid, rhubarb cheeks and hair like guineas, nicotine froth at sides and slack black bun on top. First morning, Mrs. Monkey Boy say to me as I'm to ride her estate on errands. Ride, I say. Ride, her says. I tells her I's afeard of horses. Her says, nonsense. Says I's to muck out stables every day till I gets to know 'em proper. Then her tells me to move grandfather clock from bottom of main staircase to bottom of servant's staircase. Says her wants servants to take more account of time. I tells her truly I'm not sure I'm capable of shifting so much time. Mrs. Monkey Boy say nonsense, and her fetches mallet from Dutch barn, instructs me to spend morning dogging fence posts into ground. I'm a puny thing, always have been. Just lifting mallet taxes me. I works up such a sweat and such vexation. Dinner time her comes out and sees the state of me, bids me out of my dress and my petticoats, finds me a dead lad's clothes for my outdoor duties. Her has scissors in her hand. Scissors gonna shear me too. My yellow hair is my one vanity, and I knows it would break my mother's heart to see it hacked. I hangs my head and tells her I won't be staying after all. Mrs. Monkey Boys relents on her. So I goes out into old pigsty and I changes into jacket and pants, trying not to think about gardener's boy what died in them, trying not to feel his touch on my skin, stuffing my long hair up in dead boy's cap. Her has me raking muck heap and herding turkey gobblers all afternoon, then sends me out crow scaring and stalking red squirrels with catapult. That night I sleep sound. Next morning, after laying 13 fires in 13 grates, helping Edith serve up kidneys, haddock, poppy broth and prunes in main dining hall and nettle porridge in servant's kitchen, I goes to find Mrs. Monkey Boys. Mrs. Monkey Boys calls me to her study. She's sat behind her great desk, her cigarette toppling out its holder, scattering ash across her papers. I stands by door. Her beckons. I edge toward desk. Her looks at me with her conquered gaze, and her says, Jessie Gosling, I know your secret. I looks blank. Her says, that's all. I goes out none the wiser. I tell Edith what her say. Edith laughs. Edith she says same thing to every bugger she takes on. Supposed to keep us under her thumb, stop us pilfering. I'm shocked that Mrs. Monkey Boys might think me capable of wickedness. I'd been at Major and Mrs. Monkey Boys near a fortnight before I had a vision. Servants talk about ghosts. When they get sozzled and flopsy with the cider of a night, their tongues start wagging. I tell them I signed pledge just like me man, and I sits back in my little chair in corner and I twiddles with my thumbs and hum my hymns. One night though they was annoying me with their raucousness. even Edith, sitting there on new chap's knee, him incy-wincying up her stocking tops. I creeps outside to find God. And what a stunner of a night. Moon sailing the blue ink, stars fizzing like a million tiny lantern craft. I strolls down kitchen garden, gaping at the glory of it. Carry on out to Daisy Lawn. I sits on Mrs. Monkey Boy's gargoyle seat by Lily Pond. Feel a stone chill seep into my buttocks, but the air's so fresh and sweet, I suck great breaths in. And looking up, I whispers, I know your secret, Moon. And then, like something hears me, like I'm not just playing, Moon seems to tremble, Earth seems to shake, and staring out to Swart's woods, I see low cloud thickening, rising, floating toward me, and as it comes in closer, I sees and hears it swarming insects, gathering its whiners and its stragglers in. And then this cloud of midgy specks begins to settle, hovering in the air just yards from where I'm sat, and now it's packing tighter, tighter, transforming into something solid, human. A floating baby, milky in the moonshine, head tipped toward the moon as to a mother, gurgling, burping bubbles. I stares in awful fascination. I has never seen no levitation, no such thing, nor any infant growed from biting insects. And this one's giant. I am part froze, part horribly bewitched. I try to grab at the Lord's Prayer, pronounce it sensible, but it sing-songs off, slips its meaning. And now a voice in my ear, sudden, in my right ear, it says, "This babe is not of heaven's making, not of God, nor wanted here." And it repeats this, earnest and insistent. Sorry. And then another older voice attacks my left ear, saying, "This is not the spawn of Satan, not the spawn of Satan, nor wanted here." And these voices buzz and whine so in my head. And then, as I still lock upon that baby, I am shocked afresh to see it turning into vivid colour. Now lowering its great pink head from moon to me, I stare into the welling eyes and trembling lip of Mrs. Monkey Boys in baby form. But even as I looks and sees her, she is fading, flesh loosening and separating back into the scribble of the cloud, the scratch and whir of mites under the moon. My heart goes out. I'm lurching off my seat in sorrow for that unwanted child. But somehow, now it's gone, the scream bursts out my mouth, and sudden I'm all noise and rushing my poor guts back up the gardens to the house, heart bucketing and wafting stink. Can smell my stench, the fear which pastes me in my clothes. Not a soul comes to my screams, not Mrs. Monkey Boys, nor Edith. I creeps up to my room, I tries to pray, no prayer comes. That's when I have my second vision. A gentleman called Darwin come to me. A big man, like an ape, but oh so gentle, and spends a night like honey in my bed. my innocence is quite popped.